Welcome to Wingman's Hangar, episode 26. I am Eric Wingman Peterson.
I am Rob, not Wingman, Descendent Irving.
That's a long name.
It doesn't fit on the screen when you're flying.
If you're flying your ship, you would see that like a flag
There's just
sailing
words
behind
stringing
you.
along behind it. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, if you're new to the show, this is an inside look at everything as we make the game Descent Underground. We're Descendent Studios. We're making Descent Underground. We kind of give you an inside look at what happens each and every week as we're going through the process. And it's been a pretty big week this week.
It's been a very big week.
Yeah, we've
been very busy.
We've got a lot to tell you about, so we should just get right to it. But before that, we want to thank all of our new backers. There they go. Look at that on the screen. Thanks, guys, very much. We appreciate you coming on board.
I know, on the new backers.
You know what? They're going to get the torch, though, because once the torch is unlocked,
Yes.
the people that are not there are not going to get the torch.
We're creeping ever closer to that torch being unlocked.
I know it. All right. And we want to welcome our new undergrounders, Data Runner, Gerard, whatever he is, Nick Mallard, and Valyard. I think I only butchered one of them, who just probably became an ex-undergrounder.
They mostly have pronounceable names this week. It's kind of a bummer.
Very, very good. Thank you guys very much.
Just for the record, the last name is probably Valyard. There's an E after that, A-L.
Valyard.
Yeah.
What do I call him, Valyard?
Yeah.
But it could be Valyard.
I did two names bad. That's like almost normal.
That's just a guess. I'm not sure that's
I know. Coming up today, we have a week in review, including our weekly studio snapshot. This week's most valuable post. We have forum feedback with your questions and no video this week.
No video, this week.
And an interview with one of our first Be a Legend back. Well, actually, we did Elfin Dreams once already, but we've got another one coming up with Mike Morlan and a scintillating episode of In Space.
Yay!
Wow! Don't touch that dial.
Chock full of content.
You don't want to miss this
Chock
show.
full.
I tell you what. Okay, this week at Descendent Studios, we did an underground live stream. If you want to join the underground, we stream these things once a month, and we actually do a live design meeting.
Design meetings in front of you with your feedback.
We talked a lot today about game types, various game types. We've got Anarchy, Team Anarchy, Capture. We've got all these are working titles: Capture the Core. King of the Core maybe, and then
something with
Minor Mayhem or Capture the Fill. We haven't figured that one out yet. And then Hot Rocks, which was the new one.
Which is also a working title.
Which is also almost all of them are working titles. Well, because they're not working as
Anarchy
titles.
works. We're totally cool with Anarchy. That's fine.
That's staying.
We're keeping that name.
And we are currently working on the release plan for. We've already gotten out to advisory board, and now Proving Grounds is next. It's coming up very soon. We're only we keep saying soon, but the truth is it's really soon. We're just waiting on the matchmaking because right now the way it works is everybody that joins one map, and so
it gets a little crazy with 10 people in the
10
same
people
map.
Is pushing the limits of. Now it's not like frame rate wise, but you can't go 2 feet without getting shot.
Especially in Valor.
And yeah, now we've changed that. We're going to play this afternoon, so we're going to find out. You've tweaked some of the
new weapon
balances, and so that may change everything. So we'll see.
They'll be happy to know that they can fire more than 5 times with the quad.
With the quads without running out and having to go they're about hanging out in the recharge zone. Proving Grounds is, as we said, getting close to release. Our quick match will be the first iteration of matchmaking. This is the things we're waiting on. Now, what that means is you just hit quick match, and it'll drop you in a queue and put you in with everybody else. It's very standard early release stuff. We don't have the huge matchmaking going. We can search by map type or ping or any of that kind of stuff. But we will get there. But the first iteration won't be that. We are now currently in launcher patcher testing, where we're testing the ability to download the game, and that way. Every time you guys download it, you don't have to download the whole game. You just get the differential between the differential versions.
I don't know if we're at that yet. It might right now.
No, we're not. We're not.
Download,
Right. It may be full. Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's what the launcher patcher is. Eventually, we'll get to that. So probably right now they will be the full thing. But it's small. I think it's only like a gig right now. So it's growing though. Well, it'll be bigger once we get that other map in there. Prediction code is in and looking good. Jason's gotten together and putting the prediction code for client and server-based, prediction of where you are. Before, it was saying you would put a mouse command or command in and say, go. The server would handle all the movement. And if you were too far away from the server, you would get a lot of lag or you would get some delay.
Be a little sluggish.
Mm-hmm. That's in and working. Now we've got to get that in for the weapons because sometimes the laser bolts will just hang.
Just sort of hang out, waiting for you to fly by. It's like, hey, is that a laser bolt?
It's like, are we watching the show or... Are we frozen, right? So that's getting fixed. Those are the two things we're waiting on before we get to the Proving Grounds. We also took a look at today, as we said on the Underground, at Hot Rock. And Mike, I think you've got a couple pictures of Hot Rock. Now, Hot Rock is sort of it's a new map. You can see out the walls there. This is kind of an e-sport within the fiction where you'll have 2 teams and you're playing hot potato, basically passing the molten rock around. Bounce. Well, I don't know if it's molten. We haven't figured out what it is exactly yet. But it'll bounce off walls. You'll get extra points for scoring by bouncing. You'll only be able to carry it for 2 or 3 seconds before it blows you up. It's kind of an interesting game type. We're still working out all the kinks on that, and we'll get that out and let people. We'll probably put something up on a post and let people have a feedback on what they want. It's sort of a rugby / cyberball / soccer / whatever. It sort of fits into our universe and gives people something to do while we build out the big, large, game single player bots and things like that. So it's a different game type.
Contest to name the skate park. It looks like a
The skate park. We're not calling it the skate park.
Why?
Oh, now it's time for, it's pretty good though, this week's Studio Snapshot.
That's the map right there.
So here's the map?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We need to have some sort of bigger rooms.
Yeah, there'd be like a center room.
Mini center rooms.
Yeah, there could be many center rooms.
That's Descent Underground for mobile devices.
Yeah, obviously with no optimization or anything like that, just to see what we can get out of it.
Mega missiles!
Oh, Mega Missile. And what's over there?
Fire! Oh, middle ring. Yeah, middle ring.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, I didn't hit the outer ring.
So pull outside the map, fly outside the map and show them the whole where you're at with it right now.
This ring is not completed because we need a new puzzle piece to connect them up.
It's the Ring of Death.
Super shiny!
What exploded?
Rob went to go play the game in Ender, and a big old message came up saying like all the important blueprints had unresolved compiler errors.
Is that a pizza?
No!
This is a client talking to a server with a lag set through the internal network debugging code to be like over a second.
Yeah, 1.2 seconds.
Here's the situation where we don't have weapon prediction in yet.
Oh,
Fire's coming from where
he was.
when he fired.
oh, right. It takes a second and a half for my home key to populate too.
Pew 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 pew.
The construction of the map itself looks really trouble, honestly. Yeah. I need to move my power up. It's making me uncomfortable. We'll need to put something in here, some kind of accent or props in here so that you can see the ramp. Because right now that door is a placeholder. If that becomes the same rock, you're not going to be able to see the ramp very well. So we'll need to do something with it to make it stand out a little bit.
Cool. Studio Snapshots are always fun.
We're pretty busy.
I know that Phil likes to have those for his blog, the Phil Tittle Show at the end of the week. His favorite blog.
Most read blog.
It is by far the most read blog. And he lets us know that every single week. Let's take a look at the WASP. Where are we at on the WASP? We're changing the WASP a little bit based on feedback from the advisory
Some
board.
people feel like the Wasp is a little hard to shoot, which
well,
I kind of like.
Yeah, it was very hard.
but
It still is hard to shoot. But if you notice, the top is how the WASP looked, right? Now we're modifying it a little bit, moving the center section up a little and making it the profile a little bigger so that
chunkier.
you've got about 20% more, be able to hit it 20% more easily. And so this is kind of how it's going to look. Still not in the game this way yet, so we still got a
Not
few
yet.
more times to
Working on the
tell each
textures
other.
right now.
Yeah, we're working on retexturing it, but that should make it a little better as designed, as Rob's designed it. Right now, it's like it literally is a flying saucer. It's like
It's a knife.
It is a knife.
Cuts through typhoons like
it's
butter.
Cuts through everything like butter. It's very hard to hit. Also, we've taken a look before at the plasma and fusion cannon, but I don't think we've actually shown the end. So here were some of the concepts we had for both the fusion cannon and the plasma gun, and this is what we chose for.
That's the one we chose for the fusion cannon.
Right, and now how does it look?
Oh,
That's what it looks like in the game.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And this is the one we chose for the plasma gun.
Plasma.
And this is how it looks in the game.
Good job, Kaji.
Yeah, nice work, Kaji-san. So there you go. Those are coming soon. We've got the Vulcan cannon we've shown last week, and that's actually going in the game. We should be shooting each other probably this afternoon with the Vulcan.
There are some power-ups being built in my office right now.
Yeah, that's right. Smitty's in there at his tiny desk. Smitty's this gargantuan guy. He's fantastic. He's a really big guy, but we've got him at this little tiny desk. We got to get some pictures of Smitty.
We didn't have a lot of
The
options.
teeny desk. Well, that's the way we roll right here. That desk was free. Free. Free is not just a 4-letter word. And now it's time for another free man, Keith McCormick. Well, he's not really free.
That is the weirdest segue
I know.
ever.
Freeman, it's like Dune. With this
Oh.
week's most valuable post.
Welcome to Most Valuable Post, where we celebrate someone who's made a positive contribution to the Descent Underground community. This week, we celebrate someone who is showing the caring side of the Descent community. This member is a medical student in the Caribbean and is working on an island that got hit really hard by a tropical storm recently. And we wanted to celebrate not only that hard work that they're doing, but the awareness that they're bringing to our community. So congratulations, Tron. You're this week's most valuable poster.
Congratulations, Tron, though that's kind of a tough break.
A little bittersweet there, yeah.
We're a community here, and we like to help each other out, and Tron is in Dominica, and they got hit by a hurricane. If you feel like helping, go check out the thread and join and help out. That's very important to us. We're very cognizant of the fact that we don't make this game, or we're doing this together, and so we all feel very close to you and hope everything works out. I'm glad to hear you're okay. Speaking of the valued community, we took some time to talk with one of our Be a Legend backers this week.
Hey, I'm talking with Kaj Luakarme Swarminen. Did I get that right?
Pretty close.
Pretty close?
Pretty close, yeah.
Where are you from? What part of the world are you in?
I'm from Finland.
Oh, Finland. So that's a very Finnish name, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen, so like me, I understand you're pretty much of a sci-fi geek. Do you do a lot of reading? How do you get to experience that part of your life?
I mean, I do reading and watching movies, obviously, and just getting everything like new technology and stuff related to science fiction, and real science as well. So
yeah,
it's kind of like everything new happening, and I'm like, okay, I need to see this. And even though if it's something that I might not care later, but if it's something new, cool, and okay, yeah.
Now, so apparently you also kind of get to play with that space with some of your artwork. You do some 3D modeling. You've been known to create some interesting things.
Yeah, that's one aspect of that. It's just trying to create something cool and maybe not out of this world, but something else. But it's still like a learning process to actually model stuff. But
now I understand you have another creative outlet. You play guitar.
Yeah.
Have we heard anything that you've composed?
Well, I have a few songs on SoundCloud, but they are rather first tries, pretty much.
Yeah.
But nothing too solid yet. But,
Now, you got involved with Descent Underground fairly early on in the process. Apparently, you were already hanging out on Pizaker.
yeah, that was pretty much after I followed things that happened in Cloud Imperium and followed pretty much what Eric was doing, and then when he had this new studio and game coming out that nobody really knew what it was like, okay, well, let's see what it is, and it turned out to be pretty cool stuff.
Now, you tend to enjoy single-player games a little bit more than multiplayer. Now, we're starting out as a big multiplayer thing. What are you looking forward to when we get to put the single-player game together?
I mean, in single-player games, it's more like the storyline is the aspect of what I'm really into. I mean, more so even if, I like also the open world stuff of single players as well, but the story is always fun to experience, and basically you're experiencing it yourself, so you're the main character of everything. But that said, multiplayer games, going back to them, it's something that I enjoy and doing with friends, just hanging around and having fun.
Yeah. Now, did you play Descent back in the day?
Very little, only the single player portion, but I think back at that time, all the internet connection on here in Finland was a bit like, modems, and so playing online was pretty.
Yeah, I remember dialing up myself.
So
Now you're playing. What are you playing today? You're playing any multiplayer games today?
Yeah, currently like World of Tanks, Armored Warfare, stuff like that, and I used to play World of Warcraft as well, but not anymore.
Well, Luke Hahn, I just want to say, hey, it was great to talk to you for a little bit, and thanks so much for being such an active member of the Descent Underground community.
No problem. I'm happy to be here and just seeing how things are done.
Congratulations, Luke Arme. He's a valued member of the community, and he's
One of
done
our
some,
European members.
Exactly, and he's made some really cool stuff, some models and stuff out there. So really neat. I think he's in a northern country, so he's probably enjoying the weather right now while we're over here, smoking off our feet as we walk in 100-degree heat. And now, what time is it?
It's time for
Forum feedback.
What?
We finally got
A new head. Everybody needs new head. That is fantastic, Mike. Way to go. All right. So I'm sure we'll get a little bit of the old head back again, too, because everybody likes a little familiar.
I don't provide that service.
So he says. But let's get right to it. From Jar 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 7. Jar 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 7. It is Jar Jar Jar. Look at it says right there. Jar 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 7. Huh. In previous descents, there is a lock display on the HUD, which appears if a tracking weapon is locked onto you. Is there going to be a similar device in the HUD for Descent Underground?
We could do that. Wouldn't be too hard.
No?
I mean, given the way the locking code works, it could just basically just tell you, hey, put this on your HUD.
I think it's kind of cool. I remember we used to get that. I remember playing the Smart Missile lock onto you. It was pretty fun. I mean, that's not something that'll be there day one, but we will get there. Yeah. We actually haven't missed it, to be honest. We've been playing pretty hard.
You get killed so fast you don't even notice.
Yeah. Well, today we're testing. We'll see.
The Mega Missile is always fun to see coming at you.
Yeah, it's smiling face right at you. From Voice Stalker, an Undergrounder. Will all the drones have the same level 1 laser as the default loadout? Or will each drone come with a different type of weapon in the stock configuration? Can we change this in the drone bay?
So right now, our base 7.5 ships, we're halfway to the storage.
7.5.
I'll have the laser level 1 as the default. Of course, the Typhoon has 3 of them because Typhoon's cool that way. Long term, maybe some ships might eventually come with different stock weapons, but what we're looking at right now is the tech trees modifying either the power of your lasers or maybe even what weapons are available out of the gate.
So again, this is one of those things we figure out in balance with everybody. Yeah. This will be fairly soon.
Over time.
Yeah. From a Fluffball, other than significant increase in community involvement, has backer-driven funding changed the way you make games? Ooh,
yeah.
It has changed it a little bit. We never did stuff like this before.
That's true.
Some of the stuff that happens in the studios that we laugh about and come up with stupid ideas, we now share, with people, and we've come to find out that, hey, it's okay that you can treat people like adults and that they enjoy laughing at your stupid ideas too. I get a lot of that.
And it gets easier to, strangely enough, it's easier to make the game better because you stop being so scared of being wrong, because it's not the pressure of being perfect in front of your boss all the time. It's sharing with the community what we're doing, even when we change our minds and go, hey, you're right, this is better, let's do it this way.
Yeah, and that's the fun part. I mean, I've given this anecdote a few times that we work on a Star Lancer and we put team co-op into all the missions, and when we published the game, we probably put 6 months into that, and we published the game, nobody gave a crap about it, didn't play it, so we could have probably saved a bunch of time and money, although it was Microsoft's money. Thank you, Microsoft. Yeah, that game did really well. I'm sure people are playing it now. Anyway, we could have gotten that information earlier, and so it's really nice to get feedback earlier, which is one of the reasons we're looking to get onto Proving Grounds, Alpha, Beta, and then Steam Early Access to build the community as fast as possible, because we want a lot of people playing this game, and we want you to tell us, hey, really like that, really think that sucks. And, kind of we get that feedback and we can make the game better, especially before we get into the single player build up and stuff like that. We can kind of root out all the core gameplay. So yeah, it's changed the way we're making games, but I think for a good way, in a good way. But it does mean that you have to be very diligent in keeping up the involvement and keeping up the messaging. So there's probably a bit of a overhead cost as far as like time to work on the game, but when you compare it to the fact that you're making a probably more efficient game or more akin to what people want, that probably is a better benefit in the end. So yeah, it's changed a little bit. Ooh, from GR Women or Grumman. Grauman. Undergrounder. I'm curious if there's been a post on minimum requirements for low-end and high-end pewters. Time is getting closer, and I would really like to be ready for gameplay. Well...
So, at absolute minimum settings, the game runs at 1080-60 at on a GTX 550 Ti and an Ancient Core 2 Duo. I tested that at home. Medium recommended settings would be somewhere around a GTX 760 and then a fairly strong modern i5. And that, again, 1080-60. So, yeah. But these are... these are, of course, no. Okay.
So there you go.
Thank you, Tyler
There you
Pixley.
go. Thank you, Mr. Pixley.
The famous Tyler Pixley.
From Crawl. How is the team chat going to work? For example, if someone asks if Jack helped you on a horse, would you help Jack off a horse? Would you have to reply to everyone, or could you answer via private message? Well, how's team chat going to work? And Jack and his horse thing.
I have no idea what to say to that.
Thanks for the question.
We're still working.
Why don't we get Pixley to answer that one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's gone.
No more
Sure.
Pixley.
Ducks out for the Jack off the horse comment, but he's in there for the minimum requirements. So go on.
Still working that out. Most likely we're going to have a pretty robust chat. Client.
Yeah, I think Unreal comes
we
with some of
don't
this
know.
stuff.
Yeah,
We're going to try to leverage as much of that as possible.
It has not been our focus at this time, but it
Right.
will come up at
But
some
it's
point.
going to be right now. We've been using TeamSpeak to talk to each other, and
Well, they also, there is VoIP support in there, so we probably will be able to plug and play that pretty quickly as well, which would be very useful.
it needs to be robust because we all know how the internet can be. Not
Mute,
just
mute,
Jack on his
mute,
horse.
mute.
Right. Mute. Exactly. So we want to do a lot of that. We want to have. There's going to be taunts in there too, and we'd like people to be able to record their own. But we'll see how. Yeah. Well, you probably hear your own, but you don't travel. So anyway, we love some real space, and who doesn't love real space? So here's Michael Morlan in space.
July 30th, 1971, and NASA astronauts David Scott and James Irwin are descending to the lunar surface aboard their Apollo 15 lunar excursion module. Their target, Hadley Apennine, a tiny pocket of level ground between Hadley Rill and Montes Apenninus. Touchdown, and despite a precarious 10-degree tilt in the terrain, our intrepid explorers settle down for a good night's sleep. A cup of joe, and it's time for a walk around the park. But what's this? A moon buggy. Scott and Irwin unfold the four-wheel drive, all-terrain lunar rover from the LEM for its first test drive. And a great American pastime meets another rock in space. Speaking of rocks, watch out there. The Hadley Apennine surface is littered with rocks and potholes, making this trip a bumpy one. Perhaps Uncle Sam could put in some roads next time. But enough joyriding. We're here for science. Our duo of geologists are on the hunt for anorthosites, the moon's oldest rocks. At Spur Crater, the astronauts discover 4 ancient rocks, including one dated at 4.5 billion years of age, later named the Genesis Rock. 17.5 miles later, and it's time to say goodbye to the moon, but not before one more science experiment. Scott readies a hammer and a feather, recreating Galileo Galilei's famous Leaning Tower of Pisa experiment 4 centuries earlier. As the hammer and feather strike the surface simultaneously, Scott quips, "Nothing like a little science on the moon." Liftoff, and television viewers on Earth can watch in real time, for the first time, from the television camera on the lunar rover. Goodbye, old chum. You were a great ride.
Wow, always good to see a rover on Apollo 15 and the moon, but
Zoom.
could have used a horse up there, I think, maybe.
Oh.
No, we'll leave that one alone. Coming up at Descendent Studios, we have a Build-A-Bot stage for advertising entries. Anything, a poster, written thing, you could record some dialogue,
Cool
whatever
slogan.
you feel like doing, a cool slogan, a treatment, whatever you want. Or maybe something like the video from DEF CON X.
New fun makers for the pilot starting series comes the latest in versatile multifunctional pilot with drones.
Robots truly fulfill all your needs in processing and sorting, salvaging, material rescue, and as the powerful area guardian.
With the latest in defensive AI and heat resistance hull, no form of heat will be giving it any trouble.
And as for power, and the one the most versatile and maneuverable on the market, Insidious is also compatible with both legacy SVI500 and Block 8 modules, meaning this one can rise to any challenge.
That was cool.
Good job.
I know,
Jeff
right?
Connick.
You don't have to do exactly that, but that was
Don't
pretty
have to go to
neat.
that,
I like
that
that.
extreme, but get your entries in. We're almost done with the whole contest.
Right, get your entries for Build-A-Bot. We have T-shirt contest is still underway. Get your new T-shirt pick. Take a picture of yourself in your cool-ass shirt. We are still squashing the bugs, including the hanging laser blast, which you can see right there. Mike's actually got some video of that right there.
Infinite power-up pile.
Do they hang in the air, but do they actually hit you? I don't figure that. It seems like I can dodge them while they're hanging in the air, so I don't get hit. It's kind of cool. Proving Grounds is in a couple weeks. Still waiting on client-server prediction for the weapons, because we've got in for the ships now. Launcher patcher testing is undergoing test now. And simple matchmaking will be the first iteration.
And the power-up fix.
Ooh, the power-up fix. That's on the whiteboard. That's a biggie. The power-up replication, lack of replication, power-ups everywhere. Makes everybody have quad lasers and level 4s very quickly, which also means you don't last very long in the map. So that should be hopefully fixed today, I'm hoping. From the outro, it says outro on the page, so I'm just going to read that because I'm like Ron Burgundy. Stay classy. Thanks to our Underground members and all of our backers and pledgers. Subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels. That way you get an update on when things are going. Also, go to Steam. Sign up for the Steam page. I'm not sure. I think it's still Steam Greenlight, but soon we'll have a Steam page there for obvious reasons. Submit your forum feedback, videos, and questions. And we will see you all underground.
It's the first word we learn. And some people never grow out of it.
No, no.
But this Christmas...
What was that you said?
No.
Yes, good.
Carl is about to discover what he's always been missing.
So wait, you can say yes to everything?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. As you wish.
Yes, man.
No! Yes.